Hey everyone, Kyle once again. And now, welcome back to the video, and now it's time for the answering of this year's Q&A now. As I said, I gave all you guys a week to put any questions that you wanted. Related to films, TV shows, games, even animes, etc. That, right? And so I gave you all guys a week, and now it's time to answer your questions now. Now I think I may split this into two parts. I think like I did last year, because I think this time I got a lot more questions than usual. It's going to take a while for me to answer and explaining each question though. But if it's like if it's simple questions, I can be really quick on them though. But I think I make it a bit. But at the end, I think it's going to be just two parts. So. But I just want to say thanks for everyone sending your questions, and hopefully I can answer them as best I can to your liking. All right. So, without further ado, let's get right down to your questions. All right. So for the first one, for the first person I'm going to be answering to, he has a few questions like spread sporadically right here. So. But the name is of Q Magnificent. So thanks for sending me your questions, Q Magnificent. First one to be answered to. So you have some questions spread throughout here, but I'll go for the ones that you have here first. So your first question is, what movie should be remade or a sequel to? Life Force or Running Man? Well, first of all, as it being remade, neither. Well, first of all, Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I enjoy. That should not be remade. And I don't see how that can be a sequel. And as for Life Force, Tobe Hooper's Life Force, I think overall was not a fan of, though. So I don't think that should not be remade either, or have a sequel either. So, remade or sequel, neither. So that's your first question. Your second question, who would you cast for a new Gordon Gekko? Now, for anyone knows who the Gordon Gekko is, he is what Michael Douglas plays in the Wall Street movies. You know, the first Wall Street film with Charlie Sheen, and then the 2010 sequel, Money Never Sleeps. Michael Douglas plays Gordon Gekko. And so, who I think should be cast for a new Gordon Gekko? I personally, I don't think so. Think anyone, unless because for an actor I like the first Wall Street film, but it's the sequel I'm not a fan of though. But I think Michael does a good job playing as Gordon Gekko though. But I don't think no one else can play unless. But for doing it for a reboot or whatever, it just wouldn't work. But for who else would cast for a new Gordon Gekko, I'm not too sure. If it's someone who looks or does a better performance though, but until I don't know if that's not gonna happen though. But as me, no one could play a Gordon Gekko because I think Michael Douglas does fine in his role for the Wall Street films. Even though I'm not the fan of the sequel though, but still, Michael does performance wise his acting was not the problem in it. So that's your second question. Your third question is, hi, have you heard about Tom Hanks and the human trafficking allegations? No, I haven't. The only news I heard about with Tom Hanks when he contracted, the what with his wife, and although I think he's doing better now, which is good because I enjoy Tom Hanks as an actor. Love him in a lot of films though, so. Sucked what happened to him though, but I think he's doing fine, which is good though. But I did not know anything about the one question you said. Human trafficking allegations? I did not know about that. Pretty sure it's probably just a lot of cockamania bullcrap though. But hey, you never know what's true or not. But next question, what is your favorite, or you say who's your favorite character from the first Caddyshack film? Now, I enjoy the comedy of Caddyshack, Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase. But the one I grew up watching the most, I remember the most, is Bill Murray's character Carl Spankler. With him, he's trying all he can to get rid of that meddlesome gopher in the golf field. Yeah, the character, Carl Spankler, played by Bill Murray, is one of the character I liked the most in the first Caddyshack film. But although I like Chevy Chase and I like Rodney Dangerfield, but I always like Bill Murray as character more. So is it the third question? Yeah, another one. I scroll down, a couple more. Scroll down here. What are your favorite thrillers? My favorite thrillers. In fact, let me. Well, I only have a selection of thrillers right there. So let me let me give a gander here, and I'll just call it the ones that I enjoyed a lot. Let's see here. Why I mentioned my review of Snakes on a Plane. Director David R. Ellis, may rest in peace. Cellular. That's a great film. That's a really good thriller. Cellular. Breakdown with Kurt Russell. I enjoy that film. Enemy of the State from director Tony Scott with Will Smith and Gene Hackman. I enjoyed Enemy of the State. The Fugitive with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. I grew up watching that film a lot, so that's definitely a favorite thriller for me. I enjoy The Fugitive. I grew up with that film, watched it a lot of times as a kid. See, well, I consider a favorite of mine. Narrow Margin, another film with Gene Hackman and Ann Archer. I thought that's another good one as well. I know an attorney has to protect a woman who witnessed a murder, and has to keep her safe on this train. So, yeah, that's another great one as well. I enjoy that film. Suspect Zero. I think that's also an underrated one as well with Aaron Eckhart, Ben Kingsley, Carrie-Anne Moss. I think that one's a bit underrated, even though that film flopped when it came out. So, Suspect Zero, yeah, I think I'll put that one up there. The Game, I think that's my favorite. That's my favorite film with Michael Douglas. The Game. That's one of my favorite. I say that's my favorite film with Michael Douglas. Yeah, I don't have much of a big selection on thriller so far. That's some of the favorite ones I have. Unless you count the first Silence of the Lambs. People call Silence of the Lambs as a horror. Some people count Silence of the Lambs as a horror film, but I always thought it looked like it was more of a thriller, even though it has some horror aspects to it though. But if it's in the horror though, but I'll probably put Silence of the Lambs on there as well. So I would say thrillers I consider my favorites. I would put as Cellular, Enemy of the State, The Game, The Fugitive, Narrow Margin, Pacific Heights. Pacific Heights. I think I'll even put that one in there as well because I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton. So I'll even put Pacific Heights in there. You know, as this con man who's trying to conning on Matthew Modine and his wife. So yeah, I'll put Pacific Heights. I forgot about it. From the late director Joel Schumacher, Phone Booth, with Colin Farrell and Kiefer Sutherland. Phone Booth, I'll put as another great one right there. Phone Booth. So Phone Booth. I probably even put Silence of the Lambs in there. And I'll probably even put Suspect Zero. I think that's another underrated one, I would say, as well. So yeah, those are like the thrillers I would and probably say Dead Calm too, just for the sake of Dead Calm, because I like that film too, with Sam Neill, Billy Zane, and Nicole Kidman. You know, out in the middle of nowhere on the ocean, just two people with dealing with this psychopathic killer played by Billy Zane. So, yeah, I think I'll put even Dead Calm. So those are the names of thrillers I would say I consider my favorites. And then your last question. So make sure that is your last question. Yeah, your last question is what do you like better, Captain Ron, Mr. Baseball, or Bird on a Wire? Let's see here. Captain Ron was 1992 with Kurt Russell. Mr. Baseball was a sports comedy with Tom Selleck. And then Bird on a Wire was like more of an action comedy with Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn. That was 92 as well. Captain Ron and Bird on a Wire were 92, I think. And I think Mr. Baseball was 1990. I think it was. I mean, I like all the actors that were in those movies. Maybe I would probably pick. I think if I would put it like in order, maybe I would say Bird on a Wire, Captain Ron, and Mr. Baseball. I think if I would put that in order, I think yes, I'd probably put Bird on a Wire, Captain Ron, and Mr. Baseball. I think I would put that in order. Although to be honest, I haven't seen those films in forever, so if I watch them again, maybe my opinions will change on them. But I think I put those three in that order. So, all right. So yeah. So thanks. So Q Magnificent. Thank you for those questions. Hope I answered them to the best I could. So now I'll move on to the next one. I would select. Excuse me. So the next one I would select. Okay, well, this one here I would say June from Joonbug Films. He has 5 questions here. So yeah, Joonbug Films. First question is, do you think if the internet as it does today existed in 1978, people would say we don't need Superman because it's a remake and it's disrespectful to George Reeves? Well, I mean, because about for the 1970 film Christopher Reeve's Superman, if the internet existed, and you think it would be disrespectful to the George Reeves one? I think people's opinions would be different on that though if the internet was existed back in 1978. But to me, I don't think. Well, I enjoy the Christopher Reeve Superman. I don't recall much about the George Reeves version though, but I enjoy the Christopher Reeves version from 1, 2, and 3, and of course we know about the 4th one. But I don't think it would be to me. I don't think it would be disrespectful to George Reeves because, like I said, I didn't watch like pretty much nothing of George Reeves, so I can't judge on that though. But I enjoy the Christopher Reeves Superman from 1978. So, but as I said, I don't think it's not disrespectful back then. So, and if the internet was back in 1978, I don't think it wouldn't make a difference. I think. But that's your first question. Your second question is, why do you think directors have forgotten how to direct? So why do I think directors have forgotten how to direct? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, well, if you're a crappy director, so you definitely do know how to direct films. I mean, M. Night Shyamalan he doesn't know how to direct anymore. I did not like Glass. Did not like Split. I didn't like any of his films. he did after Signs. Not one film he did after Signs. He doesn't know how to direct. I don't think he hasn't forgotten how to direct. I just don't think he doesn't know how to direct anymore. Period. As for other directors, well, either they've forgotten how to direct. I think it's either they're tired or they don't want to put the effort anymore. I mean, I know of certain directors I know today that's forgotten how to direct. I just can't think of them on the top of my head. Well, actually, I'm trying to think of the good directors I think that I've forgotten how to direct. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone else besides M. Night Shyamalan. I know those directors I don't like. They're on my list with M. Night Shyamalan though, but I just can't think at the top of my head right now. There's a lot. But as of now, I don't think M. Night Shyamalan doesn't know how to direct anymore. So to me, he's the only one that comes to mind. But I think that they forgot how to direct is either they just don't care, they want to put the time, effort, or just going through this because of a big paycheck to them. So, and especially with not only that with directing, but also screenwriting as well for script writing, how they write their characters without care or anything. So that's also included in that too. So but anyway, that's your. Hope I answered that question the best I could. So that's your second question. Number 3, who do you like better, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar for Van Halen? If I had to pick for those two for Van Halen, at most time I would pick Sammy Hagar, because I remember listening to him the most. So I think I would pick Sammy Hagar for Van Halen. Your fourth question. Who do you like better, Ozzy Osbourne or Ronnie James Dio for Black Sabbath? I grew up more listening with Ozzy Osbourne for Black Sabbath. So for the songs Iron Man, Pig's War, and Paranoid. So yeah, I'll pick Ozzy Osbourne. So I can say that I grew up listening to that the most. And your fifth question is: Did you know I was actually working on a sequel to Twister and a screenwriter interested before Bill Paxton died? I would still love to do it. Who should replace Bill Paxton? I was thinking Kurt Russell, Dennis Quaid, Gary Sinise, Kevin Costner, Bruce Campbell, Jeff Daniels, Kevin Bacon, and Bill and Engvall. I mispronounced the last name though, but who will replace Bill Paxton in the sequel for Twister? Well, first of all, I love Twister. That's a classic as well, and I love Bill Paxton. I really miss Bill Paxton. Another great actor who went before his time. I mean, he was a good character actor. From Aliens, Predator. And it was my favorite role. Growing up, it was always been my favorite role for Bill Paxton in Twister. After he passed away, it was such a tragedy. If I had to pick who replaced Bill Paxton, I don't see anyone else. I mean, all these good actors, yeah, but I don't see anyone else could replace Bill Paxton. But if I had to pick, let's see. Maybe I would probably pick Gary Sinise. I think at most because Gary Sinise, I think he doesn't do much nowadays. But if I were to pick for Bill Paxton, like his first kid role, I think I would best pick Gary Sinise. Just for your question, so I would say I would pick Gary Sinise for the sequel to Twister. But at the same time, I don't think you don't need a sequel to Twister anyway, though. That's just me. Because by the end of the movie they already got their research done, and what are they gonna do? Chase more tornadoes for more research? So I don't think a sequel will work anyway. But if I would pick, I would pick Gary Sinise. So yeah, so Joonbug Films. Hopefully that answered all your questions. Thank you for those. And let's see who else I will get to pick next. Okay, this is probably should be a simple one right here. For Meadowland Fan 2004. Yes, Meadowland 2004. Your first question would be, have you heard of the Norwegian movie Cold Prey from 2006? I think I probably heard of Cold Prey I think I probably heard of Cold Prey. I could be wrong. I was thinking of another movie though, but I'm pretty sure I've heard of Cold Prey from 2006. Question number 2. Have you seen A Man Apart with Vin Diesel? I've heard about it, but I have not yet seen it. Vin Diesel. Outside his action films, I do like the one he did called Find Me Guilty. I like that film. It's just kind of funny, weird Vin Diesel with hair though, but I like Find Me Guilty though. But A Man Apart with Vin Diesel, no, I have not. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it. Number 3, have you seen the TV show The Amazing Race? I've heard of the show though, but I was not interested in the show anyway. I wasn't interested in Amazing Race. And then your fourth and last question: have you seen NCIS with Mark Harmon? No, I haven't. I was also not interested in NCIS. I am more interested in the type of the ones like in the CSI TV shows like Vegas, Miami, and New York. But I was not interested in the NCIS TV shows. Not with Mark Harmon, no. So thank you for this. So, but Meadowland Meadowland Fan 2004. Thank you for those. What else? All right. Next, the Big Bang Theory Bro 333 returns. Or Big Bang Theory Bro 333 returns. He only has 2 questions. So, first question is, what are your thoughts on Comedy Central rebooting Beavis and Butthead? First of all, I think Beavis and Butthead does not, in my opinion, Beavis and Butthead does not need a reboot. I think the show was fine the way it was before. I like the movie they did, Beavis and Butthead Do America. But Beavis and Butthead, I don't think that they do not need a reboot. It's like does South Park need a reboot? No, it doesn't, because it has over 20 seasons already. No, Beavis and Butthead does not to be rebooted. Just check out the old show and the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America. I like that movie. So it's your first question, and your second question is, which do you prefer, Futurama or Family Guy? If I had to pick, I would pick Futurama because I am not a fan of Family Guy. I was never a fan of that type of show, those comedies like American Dad or Bob's Burgers or even Family Guy. I do not like Family Guy. My brother he likes Family Guy though, but I was never interested in Seth MacFarlane's comedy shows, especially Family Guy. So if I had to pick, I'd rather pick Futurama. So a Big Bang Theory Bro 333 returns, or 333 returns. Thank you for those questions. Those are fast and easy to answer. Hopefully, when this keeps on going, maybe I don't need to do a second part after this. But next person, Splosh Jearson. Mispronounced the name, but Splosh Jearson. Hey, what are some of your favorite train crashes of all time? Include all forms of media, movies, TV, comics, anime, etc. Thanks. Well, thank you for your question, though. But years back, I made a video showing my top favorite train crashes in movies, and I thought I'd pick my top 2 are top two are my all-time favorites. I picked number two was the train crash in The Fugitive. I always enjoyed how that scene when Harrison Ford was escaping from the bus and the train hits it, and then the back locomotive uncouples and it falls right into a ditch and everything collapses. That was my second favorite, but my all-time favorite has always been growing up. Me and my brother would say the same thing, was the train crash in Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. It was on the bridge and the two trains collided with each other. I always loved it. It was mostly done practical, actually like model trains, explosions for the most part. But you can check it back on my video I made like years back, my top favorite train crashes from. But my two favorite all times though is that I love the most was The Fugitives and that was number two. But my number one all time has always been Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. So thanks for that question there. Next. Of course, you're well, the one who's always keep on asking me stuff. Lixandro Castro. It's not really a question. He just puts Bob the Builder Mega Machines. I don't think that's... Lixandro Castro, I'm sorry. Why is that even a question? That's not even a question. You just put it like Bob the Builder Mega Machines. Okay. You're always constantly giving me questions and ask me to review this all the time. You end up giving me that, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. He's just asking. I'm sorry. We're getting off topic here. Do you ever watch my reviews or other videos that you like? Or you just want to ask questions for the sake of it instead of not watching the video? I'm just wondering because you say, "Oh, this and that," and not a response to, did you like my videos or my reviews or whatever, so. But you just go put that Bob Builder Mega Machines, I don't get it. That's not even a question, okay? Wait, is asking me, do I like Bob the Builder Mega Machines? I hadn't even heard of it. I know Bob the Builder. I watched it a few times a little bit growing up, though, but wasn't a big fan either, so. There's your question, but there's your answer, I guess. But that's me, that's not even a question. So I'm sorry though about that, but moving on next now. Next Jonathan Shuman. Jonathan Shuman. He only has one question: is do you think the movie Sucker Punch from 2011 should be remade or rebooted to make it look better? Neither. As I did not like Sucker Punch. I did not like the film. If I didn't like the film, what's the point of it? Should it be remade or rebooted to make it look better? I probably give credit to the CGI, like with the dragon and the Zeppelin crashing down, though. But I was not a fan of Sucker Punch anyway, so to me, I don't think it does not need to be rebooted or remade. So yeah, the Sucker Punch doesn't need to be remade or rebooted, because I didn't like the film either, anyway. Although I think I will review that sometime later, sometime later down the road. That'll be a rant though. So if I didn't like the film, it doesn't need to be remade or rebooted. Next. And next, Hannah Collins. Hannah Collins only has one question. Your top 5 favorite horror movies. Easy. Top 5 favorite horror films. Number 1, I've said a lot of times. My all-time favorite, John Carpenter's The Thing. Number 2, another John Carpenter film, John Carpenter's Halloween. Yeah, two of my favorite films all the time. So number 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. Number 2, John Carpenter's Halloween. Number 3, Tremors, which is a good mixture of horror creature feature stuff with good comedy though. but I always put Tremors as a horror film with the comedy in it. But Tremors, I love that film to death. And then I put the fourth or fifth. That's a hard one of them. But the fourth, I'll probably say fourth is Deep Rising. Deep Rising, an underrated creature feature film. Sea monsters on a cruise ship. Yeah, so to me that's an underrated creature feature film. Didn't deserve to flop when it came out. Didn't get hated by critics. Yeah, I love Deep Rising. And then number 5, Chuck Russell's The Blob, the Blob remake from 1988. That's another film. I'm glad I got the special edition. They got what it deserved. Like I said, the only drawback is I just wish Kevin Dillon would have had like a commentary interview, to see would hear his thoughts about it. Was he proud of the movie? Everyone else seemed very proud of the film, so. But I love The Blob from 1988. But I thought Kevin Dillon was awesome as Brian Flagg. So there you have it. My top 5 favorite horror is definitely was it John Carpenter's The Thing, John Carpenter's Halloween, Tremors, Deep Rising, and then The Blob, 1988. So thank you for that question. And I think I'll end it there. I'm at 30 minutes in because I don't want to make this like an hour thing, so I think I'll split it into a second part. I think I was planning on doing it, so I think I will do that split to a second part. So for the ones that I answer in this part one video, thank you for your questions. And I hope I answered the best that I could. So thank you for your questions where I answered in this part video. And I'll get to the rest in the second part. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 of my answering of Q&A 2020. See you in the next video.